fall of 2021. I had just moved out to begin my second year of uni after spending the entire first year online at home. Depression had struck me. I was weak and skinny fat. My posture was extremely poor and my confidence was at an all-time low. I couldn't even muster up the courage to do some of the most basic tasks like opening a bank account or even talking to people. Like most depressed young men, I would waste hours upon hours on social media, playing video games and watching self-improvement videos like this one. I had to make a change. I didn't know where to begin. My previous attempts at hitting the gym were very inconsistent. I wasn't tracking macros, tracking my lifts, or even adhering to a consistent workout routine. I wasn't cutting or bulking, so naturally my physique remained the same, flabby and skinny fat. Something had to fucking change, and I logically concluded that to, well, make some muscle, I had to go on a bulk. That's it. Bulk. That's the key word. Now, guys, this video is going to outline to you the exact steps I did to absolutely demolish my skinny fat physique. Like, absolutely. I don't recognize my previous self now. So it's going to be a long video. So feel free to skip around and pause because it's going to be quite a journey. So let's get to it. The lean bulk I was about to go through was taxing not on my body, but on my mind. As someone who was borderline obese in elementary school, I was afraid of being fat again. However, you have to keep in mind that you can't get rid of your skinny fat body unless you build some muscle first, which will require you to go on a bulk. People will still notice your progress and you won't look as fat as you think. You'll still get compliments. Trust me, I know this from experience. Now, the first pre-step is to calculate your TDEE, also known as your total daily energy expenditure. Go on tdeecalculator.net, that's the one I used, and calculate your maintenance calories. Then, download MyFitnessPal and become obsessed with your macros. Dude, I religiously tracked my macros, and I made sure I wasn't overeating. You need to track your macros or else your diet isn't going to be proper. You're not going to be getting the maximum, muscle growth. You're not squeezing the most out of your lemons. So just track your macros. Now, as a note, I did not rely on MyFitnessPal's maintenance calories, and I just used the TDEE and I added 400 calories on top of that. Now, after a few sessions, and I finally decided to buy whey protein, which I had used in the past, but again, sparsely due to my terrible experiences at the gym. Now, it's difficult not to justify buying whey protein because it's inexpensive, convenient, and protein dense, which is exactly what you need for optimal muscle growth. Now, remember, you should be eating 1.2 to 1.7 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight a day. As I was becoming more immersed in gym culture, I decided to buy some pre-workout. Yeah, pre-workout, crazy. I started out with C4. Don't buy it, it's fucking shit. But yeah, it was pretty good. The first scoop of pre-workout is like an otherworldly experience. It's something else. Now, that being said, pre-workout is absolutely not a necessity, but it does give you that extra kick you sometimes need when you're feeling down or demotivated. Now, the caffeine certainly helps, but if you don't want to just build a dependence on it, then I would suggest leaving it out. Now, creatine is also another supplement that I bought in around December. So now we're going back and forth. And creatine, that's something you should definitely consider. It's a very well-researched, inexpensive substance, and it does enhance your muscle growth to a small extent. You should start with a loading phase of 20 grams a day for 5 days. That's 4 servings, so they give you that little scoop. And then you take 5 grams every day, so 1 serving every day. You can take creatine at any moment of the day. It really doesn't matter. So during your loading phase, I recommend spreading out the 20 grams to 5 gram servings, in your water or your shakes, etc. Now, that's because too much creatine ingested at once can cause mild diarrhea, and you don't want to end up clogging your bathroom like you would after a Chipotle binge session. Again, I am speaking from experience. One thing you need to ensure when bulking is your diet. right? It's kind of weird because like, hey Ali, like I'm bulking, like I can eat whatever the fuck I want because I'm bulking, right? No cutting, no losing weight. You'll be tempted, guys. You'll be tempted to gorge on sodas and junk food, but please, please, I beg you, don't. You'll gain a lot of unwanted fat, which will be more difficult to lose during your cut phase. We'll shortly talk about cutting later. While I didn't drink soda during my bulk, I certainly did eat a lot of chicken burgers from Popeyes. Now, trust me, I must have single handedly increased their sales by 5% over that 3 month period. Now, the cope I used was it fits my macros, which wasn't entirely true and kind of BS. Not gonna lie. Now, if you've opened this video a few weeks or months later to get a quick recap and you didn't eat like shit, then you have my full respect and admiration. The rest of you watching this in present day, let's move forward to step 2. In 2021, I started out with a high volume, medium to high intensity bro split. I saw some great visual results thanks to my newbie gains, but the program was far from optimal. Workouts would take an upwards of 2 hours and my lifts weren't increasing. I then switched to a higher intensity, lower volume PPL or push-pull legs split, mostly based around Jeff Nippard's science-based routines. As a result, my peak squat has rapidly increased to 200 kilograms. My deadlift is now at 3 plates and a half, and my bench is at around 93 kilograms. Now, this was all a peak bulk before I started my cut, and it's nothing to brag about really, but I'm proud of the progress I've made in just a few months. The workouts, they begin usually with a compound lift, followed by some machine and dumbbell isolation exercises for hypertrophy. A lot of pro lifters and fitness influencers swear by machine exercises over dumbbell exercises, but I still incorporated some of the latter simply because it was more enjoyable. You'll still get the results as long as the form is right, and you'll enjoy your time at the gym even more, right, than just doing machine exercises. We don't want you to burn out just a few weeks or even days into training. So, do some things that are a bit enjoyable, especially at the beginning. In my bro split program, I had 2 rest days, and in my current PPL split, I'm at 1 rest day. If you're curious, I left the workout routine in the first link in the description below. Okay, boys, I'm gonna be really honest here and admit that I have not done much cardio the past few months outside of walking or biking to my campus. Ideally, you should do some cardio for overall health and endurance, which it will carry over to your lifts. So don't be a dumbass like me and do cardio. After my 5-month bulk from 84 kilograms to 101 kilograms, I finally decided to go on a cut. I was finally proud of my body. And while it wasn't perfect, the progress I had seen had created a positive feedback loop, which enforced the habit of going to the gym. Again, I went on the TDEE calculator and I calculated my current maintenance calories at 101 kilograms. And I subtracted 400 calories from that. So this time you subtract instead of add because you're cutting. Makes sense, right? It's literally that simple, guys. If you want to lose weight, go on a deficit. You want to gain weight, gain muscle, go on a surplus and maximize protein. You should also maximize protein on your cut so you don't lose a lot of muscle. It's that simple. No weight loss program, no fucking pills. It's just calories. It's numbers. Kept the same workout routine. And at this point, you should expect the workouts to feel more dragged out as you do have less energy running through your system. After a few weeks, however, your body's metabolism will start to adapt and you won't feel as tired. Another mistake I made in the bulk was not training abs, thinking they were unnecessary. Just do compound lifts and you'll have an 8-pack, bro. That's your ego talking, trying to make you cut corners and slack off. Sure, you still need to lose fat to see your abs, but training them will make them more visible at a higher body fat percentage, and they're hence easier to see. So yes, train abs. Honestly, the cut is also taxing on the mind, so I want to mentally prepare you for that. So you should expect some of your lifts, especially your bench, to plateau or worst case scenario, slightly decrease. Your deadlift shouldn't change that much. And my experience has actually increased to the 3.5 plates I mentioned after my bulk, simply because I was doing them more seriously and more frequently. I would avoid deadlifts like the plague, and I was just scared. My cope again was, oh, I'm not genetically gifted to deadlift, and that's stupid because I love deadlifts now. I love them. Now that you're cutting, your carb intake is going to be lower since you're trying to fit more protein into your diet with a lower caloric budget. To optimize the energy from carbs, what I did was consume most of my carbs shortly before my workouts. Like let's say a banana or breakfast. You should also make sure to drink at least 2 liters of water a day and try your best to minimize sodium intake to avoid water retention and just looking bloated. You want to do this even on a bulk, but on a cut, it's even more important since the goal is to look leaner and water retention doesn't help with that. Now, your diet will certainly be harsher than the one you did on the bulk, and hopefully the discipline you've gained during the bulk, not eating on junk food and eating the right foods will help you avoid temptation and snacking on bullshit genetically modified food. Discipline is key at this stage. Now, your cut, just like your bulk, should have a number goal to help your brain quantify the progress. I'm currently 91 kilograms, and my goal for this cut is to reach 88 kilograms. And then I'll maintain for a few weeks, and then I'll bulk again.